global power and the question of our age. Throughout human history, many nations have risen to dominance. Ancient Egypt, mighty Rome, the British Empire where the sun never set. But never before has a single country maintained such broad, sustained, and multifaceted global influence as the United States of America. Since the end of World War II, the U.S. has not only been the world's sole superpower, but has also become the key architect of the global order. It leads in politics, economics, military affairs, science, and culture. Why is this the case? What enabled a relatively young nation, barely over 2 centuries old, to hold the world in its hands? The answer is not rooted in any single event. It lies in a complex constellation of factors: geography, natural resources, strategic decisions, institution design, and adaptability. This essay explores the historical, geopolitical, economic, and cultural foundations behind the United States' rise and sustained global dominance. Geography and natural resources, the foundation of superpower status. The United States enjoys one of the most favorable geographic positions in the world. It has a vast landmass of 9.8 million kilometers square. It is bordered by 2 great oceans, the Pacific to the west and the Atlantic to the east. This natural insulation from invasions allowed internal development. It avoided repeated wars that plagued Europe and Asia. The country also boasts extensive navigable rivers. The Mississippi Basin supports transportation and agriculture. Fertile farmland and diverse climates support crops and livestock. It possesses abundant natural resources: oil, coal, gas, uranium, and rare minerals. Strategically, the U.S. sits between Europe and Asia. It can project influence across both hemispheres. It engages in truly global trade and diplomacy. Historical roots, from colony to superpower. The U.S. was founded in 1776 after a war of independence against Britain. It evolved differently from traditional empires. Instead of colonial conquest, it grew by embracing frontier expansion and manifest destiny. It established democratic institutions and a separation of powers. It upheld values of individualism, freedom, and opportunity. In the 19th century, it expanded westward to reach the Pacific. While Europe dealt with revolutions and wars, America industrialized. By the late 1800s, it had the world's largest industrial economy. World Wars, turning points in global leadership. In both world wars, the U.S. started as neutral. It later entered the wars and tilted the balance in favor of the Allies. It emerged unscathed physically, unlike Europe and Asia. After World War II, it was the only nation with atomic weapons. It led the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe. It gained influence across the West. It shaped institutions like the United Nations, IMF, and World Bank. It laid the foundation for the modern global order. Military power, the iron backbone of dominance. The U.S. spends more on defense than the next several countries combined. It has over 750 military bases in 80+ countries. It owns the world's largest aircraft carrier fleet, with 11 active carriers. Its capabilities include nuclear arms, missile systems, stealth aircraft, and elite forces. This global military footprint enables power projection. It enforces order wherever U.S. interests are at stake, from the Middle East to the Asia-Pacific. Economic power and monetary dominance. Since 1945, the U.S. has been the world's largest economy. It has a vast, wealthy domestic market. It protects intellectual property rights strongly. It has a sophisticated financial system: Wall Street, the Federal Reserve, and top investment banks. The U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency. It is the standard for trading commodities like oil. It enables financial sanctions and global capital control. The U.S. can print money, issue debt, and finance allies with ease. It does so without destabilizing its own economy. Education, innovation, and technological supremacy. The U.S. hosts the world's most prestigious universities: Harvard, MIT, Stanford, Caltech. These institutions attract global talent. They drive scientific research. They fuel innovation and entrepreneurship. America leads every major tech revolution: electronics, the internet, biotech, and AI. It created Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta. Silicon Valley is the world's innovation capital. It draws billions in venture capital. It produces breakthrough after breakthrough. Soft power, winning hearts and minds. U.S. power isn't just military or economic. It spreads through culture and media. Hollywood shapes global perceptions. Pop music, fashion, and lifestyle trends spread American ideals. Social media platforms like Instagram, Netflix, and TikTok, U.S. version, influence youth culture. The American dream promotes meritocracy and self-made success. It creates global emotional appeal. This is a rare and powerful form of influence. Strategic diplomacy and global stewardship. The U.S. maintains dominance through strategic diplomacy. It leads alliances like NATO, AUKUS, and Quad. It forms trade pacts like USMCA and bilateral deals. It holds sway in global institutions, the UN Security Council, IMF, WTO. It uses soft coercion and proxy conflicts. It often achieves goals without full-scale wars. This ensures cost-effective global dominance. Emerging challenges in a changing world. Despite its strengths, America faces serious challenges. Rivals like China, India, and the Global South are rising. Internally, America faces political polarization. There is growing inequality and social unrest. Global issues also threaten dominance: climate change, cyber warfare, AI arms races. New questions arise. Can America lead alone? Is a multipolar world inevitable? Must the U.S. evolve towards shared global leadership? The United States, an empire of the 21st century. America's global power is not accidental. It is built on visionary institutions. It benefited from geographic luck. It mastered technology. It showed strategic foresight. It projected cultural magnetism. But 21st century power also demands legitimacy and trust. It requires shared solutions. The U.S. must shift from hegemon to collaborator, from fortress to bridge builder. It may not always be the sole superpower, but it will likely remain the central actor on the world stage. Its influence will continue for generations to come.